Please subscribe and you can download this code from description below. Title: Returning values in Python without parentheses. Introduction. In Python, you can return values from functions or methods, and these values are usually enclosed in parentheses. However, there are situations where you might want to return a value without using parentheses. This tutorial will demonstrate how to achieve this and explain when it is appropriate to do so. Let's get started with code examples. To return a single value without parentheses, you can simply use the return statement followed by the value you want to return. Here's an example. In this example, we define a function return _value_ without underscore parentheses and use the return statement to return the integer 42. When we call the function, it returns the value without parentheses, and we store it in the variable result. Python allows you to return multiple values from a function by returning a tuple. To return multiple values without parentheses, you can still use the return statement with the values separated by commas. Here's an example. In this example, the return multiple values without underscore parentheses function returns two values, Alice and 30. When we call the function, we can directly unpack these values into the variables name and age. Returning values without parentheses can make your code more concise in some situations. However, it's essential to be aware of when to use this approach. In general, using parentheses to return values is more common and can be more readable, especially when returning complex data structures like lists, dictionaries, or when returning a tuple with more than one value. Here's an example of returning a list without parentheses. In this case, using parentheses is not necessary, and returning a list directly is a common and readable practice. Python allows you to return values from functions with or without parentheses, depending on your specific use case. While returning values without parentheses can be used for simplicity in some scenarios, it's essential to consider readability and best practices, especially when dealing with more complex data structures. Keep in mind that using parentheses is the most common and recommended way to return values, and it's often more readable, especially when returning multiple values or complex data structures. ChatGPT.